Jack would be sick right here.
No, he hits it
What?
back-to-back hands.
Hey guys, welcome to Getting Better at Poker Part 2. I've been playing a lot of live streams over at my local card house in Palace Poker, and I have been crushing it on live streams. So, let's go hand by hand. Every hand that I see post-flop, I will be showing. This is my first hand that I play of the night. I bought in for $275. Hand number 4, I looked down at Queen 7 offsuit. I'm just really looking to get my feet in the water. Raise to 15 right next to me, and a call immediately. And then another call. There's enough money in there where I can spend $10 more to see a flop for sure. So I definitely go in for the call. Not liking my position first to act. I am just going to check it over. That's what I would have done no matter what. Gets over to Danny, who also checks, and Emily checks, and Mitch on the button is of course going to bet at it. I like where I'm at with my gut shot right now.
Actual best hand to fold.
And then I get there. On my first hand that I play, I get there on my gut shot, and I check it back to the button, hoping he becomes aggressive again. And little did I know, he hit a pair, so of course he's gonna just check it on over. I hit a bigger straight now. I got the queen. The only thing that can beat me is king, queen, or a flush. And I don't think either of them have the flush, or at least I hope so.
For sure.
Emily raises, it could get kind of weird.
It could, because it looks
I raised to 40. Emily folds. And then Mitch wants to see how I play. And donates me $40, which I am very much happy at. And I take out my first pot. Here I am in the big blind. It is not a lot of action here. Mitch is going to call. Mateo fold. Grand folds ace-7. I'd be in there for that. Ace deuce for Bollywood, aka Zeal. He's a very solid player. I hadn't played with him before today. $10 bet is not too huge. And I look down at ace queen, and I'm going to throw in a 3-bet to 60. 60 is a bit too much from what I see now. Ace 2 is going to fold. And Mac is sticky and is going to call. I check in the dark, which is not something I like doing here. I'm the aggressor, checking to the button. Should have just poked at it.
Okay, I'm with it. Oh, wow. If there were 2 turn cards in the deck, that's one of them.
Yeah.
And if I would have poked that, he would have folded and not got a flush draw here.
He's right, and then Mac might dunk it in on him here. Another heart. Puts in the call. Good bet on the turn. A spade would be hard to see. A straight card makes some sense here, but
yeah.
Oh, it's another king.
Okay.
Just another king. I'm not too worried he has a king. Maybe I should have been. But either way, he sees my bet and he folds. A couple hands later here, Mateo over here will raise it to 15, and then we get a couple folds. Mateo is definitely the person I was most scared of at this table, and I get ace-jack off. I am just going to call. Maybe should have raised on the button there, but I am scared of Mateo. I definitely should have raised on the button. That is 100% what I should have done.
That would be the most action board. Ace-10 jack, but
Ace-10 jack would be nuts.
And then the board just comes brick, brick, brick for both of us, really, because pre-flop aggressor. He checks, and I'm going to go ahead and put a bet in at it. Practically a pot-sized bet.
Has the ace of clubs, could rep some flushes, but
and he's just going to throw it away.
And the new guys are pretty good.
I look down at ace-10 under the gun here, and I'm going to go ahead and put in a sizable bet here. to $25, which is definitely way too high. I scare off some hands that I could have beat, like ace 8. The jacks come along for sure. He's going to go ahead and 3-bet me. And of course I'm going to make the call here with ace 10.
I think this is going to go fold call. Oh no, he puts in the call here with ace 10. Does have a live over, and I don't see Mitch folding here.
And the flop comes king, king, 3.
Everyone bricks here.
I'm liking my odds here. Gonna put in a bet for $100. Mitch is gonna say, what the hell was I doing here? And Mateo rips it all in. I've got nothing. There's a great rip. There's nothing I can do here except for fold and know that I just punted off $100. The very next hand here, I'm facing a 3-bet with pocket 8s. And after this hand, I do go card dead. I go ahead and make the fold. 10-4, fold. Was going to make some moves there on the button, but 10-3 is going to be a fold with a raise in front of me. He cut off here, folding jack 6. Queen 6, going to make a fold. In a middle position here, facing a raise to 20 with a king 4. 9-7 here, facing a bet. 7-4 here and +1. In the straddle here with 6-8 facing a 3-bet. In the big blind here, just going to see a cheap flop with jack 6 with the board. Small blind here facing a all-in bet with 6-5. Not gonna make that one. On the button here with 9-2, not even gonna make a raise with that one, and thankfully I didn't because I would have ran into ace-king suited. 8-2 offsuit, fold. 4-5 offsuit, gonna fold. Fold my 10 deuce here, and then listen to me on the table.
Tell you this much, Stream isn't saying, oh, what a net player.
And I finally get a hand here, pocket 6s, and I do get to play, thankfully. Zane raised with 8 king suited. I'm gonna call. Emily's gonna call. Mitch is gonna call. Fold, fold. It goes to Bollywood with 10-2.
Yeah, he didn't know it was on him. Yeah, you see a little look to the side. Mac makes pretty easy call here,
and then Mac's just gonna call here as well. And we're going 5 ways to a flop. That's called a Texas heads up. And I do currently have the best hand with pocket 6s. And I look down at a very ugly flop. I do have a club. And I'm going to raise it $55, hoping that no one has the flush. And I get the higher flush to fold. Mitch folds. Mac is going to fold his top pair, which is definitely something that does not happen very often. This was a very shitty bet with pocket 6s. Definitely should have folded or should have checked around to whoever had the last position, which was going to be Mitch there, and you know that he would have bet. In the straddle, 2 hands after that, pocket 6s. Danny's going to get king, queen suited here. And he's going to go ahead and throw in a bet here. Actually, it does fold around. And I'm going to go ahead and put in a nice 3-bet here against Danny. Which I don't mind that 3-bet whatsoever. And I 3-bet it to 60, which is not a bad size. He's going to go ahead and put in the 4-bet to 150, and I'm just going to go ahead and call.
Wow, love this. This is some great action. Free T showing the pocket 6s here, induces the 4-bet from Danny, who is correct. Danny's a solid player.
I check, and Danny flops top pair, and it's going to put in a very small bet relative to the pot size of just $75. And I think that this is weak. After about a minute and a half of tanking here, I decide to go all in, which is a very questionable decision here because it only makes it a little bit more for Danny to call, and relative to the pot size in the middle, it is just going to be an easy call for Danny. One thing I told myself after this stream was I need to be careful on looking at my chip count and my opponent's chip count. I decided to go twice after he shows me that he has a queen, and I just need a gut shot here, and I'm going to let the commentators take over here.
Nah, he's got it. Yeah.
Jamming on the goodie.
Oh no!
Oh my gosh.
Just like that.
Who does that? Yeah, why?
They're going twice. But Jack would be nasty.
There's another one in there.
Oh no. Not again.
Jack would be sick right here.
No, it's he hits
What?
it back-to-back hands.
That is sick.
If anyone's seen that Phil Lock hand where he lost a pocket 10 hitting a set twice, this is what we just witnessed again. Wow.
Oh my gosh. What a hand.
And I can barely believe.
This was the most insane poker hand I have played ever so far, and that includes the other 2 streams that I've been on recently and all the poker I've played in the 2.5 weeks after that, and it includes online poker. It's insane. Never once have I hit a double gut shot and won. I still cannot fathom what just happened there. On to the next game. Here we are, the very next hand after that, and this has to be my worst play of the night. Bollywood raises to 22, and then Mac is going to go ahead and raise it up with a 3-bet here. And my ace 10 here is no good, and I should know that at this point. I would be needing to spike an ace. But I think it's the adrenaline of the hand before, and I'm gonna go ahead and make the call. Bollywood is going to fold his king jack suited, and it leaves me and Mac heads up, and I do my stupid check dark thing that I think is cool, and he's gonna hit a seg, and I'm just screwed at that point. I check, he checks, and I think because he checked that I'm good, and then I hit a 10 and check back to him, which he raises, and I put in a quick raise to $225. And he moves all in. $135 to call what's in the pot for $750. There's nothing for me to do except I gotta call. The pot sizes. I know I'm dead, but I gotta call. 2 hands after that absolute atrocity, Mateo here is going to raise it up to $15, and I have ace 5 offsuit here, and everyone around me goes ahead and calls as well. I'm on the button here, and I see 10-10 deuce.
No, I agree, Tyler. Thank goodness for
Emily goes ahead and flops trips, which she's gonna bet at it here, and I just gonna know that I am dead. The very next hand after my ace 5 here, I look down at ace jack suited, and I'm gonna go ahead and call the $15 bet placed by Zane. And Danny's got ace king, and it's going to raise it up to $50. Mitch goes ahead and calls. Goes back to Zane, the initial aggressor here. And he's going to go ahead and fold his $15. And I am going to put in the call. In middle position here, the flop is going to come King Jack 8. I hit my Jack, and he shoves all in with the 8. And I don't know what to do at this point. I hit middle pair. I should definitely be out of there. But I put in the call. And then Danny moves all in, making it $35 for me to call into a $795 pot. And of course I got a call. And I am drawing practically almost dead, looking for runner. After counting up all the money, the 10 does hit on the turn, and I am looking for a queen for me and Danny to go ahead and chop up Mitch's money. And we're so hoping for it, both me and him. And a face card does come, but it is not enough, giving Danny 3 of a kind and Mitch a full house, and me broke. And I look down here at Jack 5 in the cutoff, and I'm going to just pop it to a smooth 15 here, hoping that the button folds and I can take control of the last position here. And then I run into 2 pocket pairs, aces from Mateo. And I don't necessarily like that. So we're going to see, he goes ahead and bumps it up to 60, and I'm thinking, what the hell am I doing in here? Glad I only lost $15. I look down at Queen 7 here in the hijack, and I'm gonna go ahead and call. The only other time I got Queen 7 on this stream was when I hit the big straight in my first hand that I played. And the flop comes Queen 3 King. I go ahead and hit my queen. I check. He checks, I check. And then he's going to go ahead and check. And I'm going to throw in a $5 bet at him. And he calls. And then the flop's just going to come a deuce, which is nothing really good for anyone. He hits a deuce there. He hits the pair. He knows that I have something. And he acts like he's gonna call, but then folds.
I hit the deuce, I was tempted, but...
I mean, he had big actors in that movie. The evil Jolly.
I knew I was going to give you $15. I'm like, no, I don't like him that much.
Mateo giving me some banter. In middle position here, I'm going to go ahead and put in a call here with King 3 for $2. Mitch is going to go ahead and put in a raise to $20, which could mean nothing. Who knows? Mac is going to go ahead and call. And I am also going to decide to go ahead and mix it up and put in the call with King 3. I'm going to go ahead and place a bet, hoping that everyone whiffed this. And me having runner for straight, I guess. Emily's going to go ahead and fold. And Mitch and Mac both with the same hand. Mitch is going to go ahead and fold. And Mac has seen me play all too many crazy hands. So 2 and 4 are definitely in my range for this session. Next card comes a 10, which is going to do nothing for either of us, but I'm just going to continue and fire at it, and Mitch goes ahead and puts in the fold. Here we are, a few hands later, hand 52. Mitch is going to put in a raise for $15. Zeal is going to be in with my dreaded ace 10. I'm getting too married to ace 10 in this stream. And I looked down at 5-6, only $10 more to go in. And I'm going to go ahead and put in the call. I'm not sure how much I like it. It was a Mitch raise, meaning I don't know what it could be. And then I flop bottom 2 pair. Zane gets a flush draw and Bollywood with top pair and a decent kicker. Mitch bets to 35. Zeal is going to go ahead and put in the call. Zane goes ahead and also puts in the call. And me with bottom 2 pair is going to put in a semi-tank here. I sit here and think about my sizing, really. And I land on a number that I think is correct, which is just $75. Almost a min-click. A little bit more than a min-click. And it's going to go ahead and get him to fold. And it's going to get over to Zeal here, who likes his top pair. Possibly thinks that I am on a flush draw. And is going to put in the call. And then Zane goes ahead and does something that saves me in this hand. He goes ahead and shoves all in, and I put in the snap call. The snappiest of calls I've ever put in. And he has to know that one of us has it right now. We hit 2 pair for sure, and that he would be looking for 2 pair himself. After tanking for a while, he does put in the fold with his ace 10. And I go ahead and let Zane know that I have 2 pair. And he says once, so we go ahead and just run it once. Zeal goes ahead and hits his ace 10 that he folded and does not show a reaction at all. And thankfully for me, no diamond does hit. And I am able to take down a nice size pot. If Zane does not go all in there, I definitely lose to Zeal there. Here we are a few hands later for a 5 hand, and I get ace 8 and Zane raises it to 15. I'm going to go ahead and put in the call. Danny puts in the snap call for 15 with the 9-6 suited. And then it is going to fold around to Zane, and it's the 3 of us in this pot. 10-5 deuce rainbow is going to hit the board, and I'm just going to check it down to the end of the table, and then a 4 hits. The 4 goes ahead and gives Zane something, and he's going to go ahead and stab at it, and I'm going to go ahead and float. I'm looking for an ace and 8 or a 3, and a king club's giving Zane 2 pair. And he's going to go ahead and bet at it again. And I think he's bluffing at it, but I do put in the fold with only ace high. Any pair there will do, so I am able to get away from it. Hand 63 here. Mitch is going to call the $5 straddle with king 7 here, and so is Mac going to call it with the suited 1-gapper, and I look down at pocket aces and I raise it up to $25. Emily here with Ace King is going to 3-bet it to 75. And Mitch is going to say, what am I doing in this hand with King 7? And Mac is also going to fold. I put in a little fake tank here for just a moment, thinking about what I'm going to do. Knowing that I love getting 3-bet with aces here. And I go ahead and raise it up to just 200, enough to make it enticing for her, because I do want her in the hand. She goes ahead and decides to put in the 5-bet here to 400, and I snap all in, and she says call. And we're showing aces versus ace king. She said earlier in the stream that she was a run it once type of girl, so we are gonna do exactly that. And a king comes in the window, scaring the shit out of me. Thankfully for me, the king does not hit, and I take down the biggest pot I have ever taken down at that point. $1,200. I'm skipping a bunch of hands here because there wasn't that many interesting things that happened between the last hand I showed and this one. Mac looks down at pocket kings, and Zane is going to go ahead and fold, and I look down at 10-6. Because Mac just limped in, I say, hey, I can limp in as well. And Danny folds, and then Emily is going to also put in the call. Get a fold, and then a call and a call. We're going 5 ways to a flop here. This could be anyone's range here, really, 4, 8, 9. I'm going to go ahead and put in the raise, a $10 bet thrown at me. I'm going to go ahead and raise it to 30. And it's going to go all the way to Mac, who is just going to put in the call. Next card comes the Jack, giving me an open-ender now. Looking for a queen or 7. Mac's going to go ahead and check, and I'm going to put in a sizable bet, about 2/3 of a pot, $50 into a $70 pot. And I'm able to get him to tank. On a limped pot here, anyone could have anything, and that is what he is afraid of. He has 0 hands he can put me on. Then he says this.
Oh, wow. He believes him.
Wow.
Oh, he's not going to like that. Freddie's been mixing it up, but it's been a minute since he's mixed it up, so you can definitely not fault Mac at all for thinking in a limp pot there. He's behind with kings.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the end of my first ever cash game, and I end up in a $300 buy-in, up $649 cumulative dollars, coming in first for the stream. And I know at this moment in the stream, I think I'm very good at poker. Rewatching this, I got extremely lucky on this stream. And I told myself I need to play better. And our commentators did an excellent job as well. Palace Poker, thank you so much for hosting. This has been getting better at poker part 2. It was amazing, to say the least. Thank you guys for watching.